Now, it may be the case that some people, adults, with a particular disability that the fetus may or may not carry, do not regard their lives as lives of suffering. But it's a different question about how their parents felt about it. And in the prenatal diagnosis decision is the parenting of a person with disabilities. The physicians who have worked with these parents for much of their professional lives will tell you, they've told me when I interviewed them, that families suffer terribly. The data out there is clear, for example, with regard to Down syndrome. Marriages break up, fathers disappear, siblings are ignored, siblings resent being ignored, siblings worry about who's going to take care of that individual after the parents die. Physicians who care for these families know that there is enormous amounts of suffering involved. Even if the individual with the disability doesn't suffer. And so suffering is an important question in everything that physicians do. If they make an effort to reduce suffering in a particular way, they are, in the case of prenatal diagnosis, referring to the suffering of the parents as well as to the suffering of the potential child.
And that's certainly the case. I think the argument that I would want to make is that that is a structural situation that has to do with the lack of supports and services and understanding on the part of the society in general about what disability is and how disability operates and is in the world. And the argument that I would want to make is that if we change the structure, the suffering then can abate, that the suffering is not inherent in these conditions necessarily, but that the unwelcoming aspect or unwelcoming attitudes in society in general are what need to be changed rather than simply eliminating the people with these forms of human variation. And we lose something when we understand suffering as being a product of disability and suffering as being something that is not particularly experienced by people who are non-disabled. In other words, quality of life and contribution to society can't be predicted ahead of time. Suffering itself can't be predicted ahead of time.
Did you say can or cannot?
Cannot be predicted ahead of time.